Hi, I'm Mrs. Segura. I'm going to go over the practice test for 4th and 5th grade for the ELPA 21. You'll begin by playing the audio. If you hear it, you're going to check it off, and you'll notice the check mark, put continue at the bottom. Begin test now.
Listen to the sentence. Choose the picture that matches the sentence.
Nate pets a dog.
So I look at all the pictures and I tap on the one I want. Notice the dotted lines. I know it's selected, and then I put next.
Look at the chart about an animal. The chart is missing information about the animal's diet. Now, listen to a short talk about the animal. Listen for the missing information.
The wallaby is a member of the kangaroo family and can only be found in Australia and surrounding islands. Like kangaroos, wallabies are mammals that enjoy eating plants. They have large tails that help them jump very far.
Now, move the correct answer to the blank space in the chart.
So I have to scroll down to find the chart. So I want to know their diet, and I know it's plants. I'm going to scroll back up. And I'm going to put both fingers on the scroll board, and then as long as one's on there, it should be able to go down. I'm having some issues. There we go. Can't see both at the same time, can I? Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm using 2 fingers on the scroll bar until it gets dark. And when it's dark, I know it's in there. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to go next. At the top, you'll see the arrows. You can go back to...
Listen to a student giving a presentation about an author.
I did my presentation on my favorite author, Laura Ingalls Wilder. Laura Ingalls Wilder is from a state in the USA called Wisconsin. You can see Wisconsin on this map. Laura Ingalls Wilder was born here in 1867. I made a timeline to show you some important events in her life. Laura Ingalls Wilder wasn't always a writer. She became a teacher after she finished school. She started a successful farm where she raised animals and grew apples. Her first book was about her childhood in the woods of Wisconsin. Her first book was a great success. She became famous and wrote more popular books about her life in the countryside. Together, the books are called the Little House series. They are still well known. You said Laura Ingalls Wilder started a farm and then started writing. What inspired her to start writing? Ms. Wilder was inspired by her daughter. After she started her farm, her daughter encouraged her to start writing. Are all of Ms. Wilder's books about her childhood? I read that Ms. Wilder's ideas came from her childhood in the woods and her life as a farmer.
Now, answer the questions. Why does the student use a map in her presentation? To show the best area to build a farm. To point out where an author was born. To discuss why authors enjoy traveling. To explain why settings are important for stories.
So I'm going to pick the one I want, and when I pick it, it's going to get dark, and then I'll go ahead and put next.
Move the 4 events to the correct places on the timeline.
Okay, so remember 2 fingers on the keyboard, on the little mouse board, and you can take notes when you're listening. We just will collect the notes at the end of the test. And then you were at the end of the first part of the test. And if you do take notes, be sure you put your name on it. And as I said, that is protected. We can't share that with anybody else. So the next test is going to be, we did listening, we'll do speaking next. And remember, for the speaking section, when they ask a question, restate the question and then answer it. And give us, if it says give 2 details, be sure you give 2 thorough details. Okay, and remember this is 4th and 5th grade, so I'm just gonna run it through 4th grade. Yep, and I had to be careful. I opened up the wrong test the first time. Speaking, okay. This time, you wanna make sure you can hear your voice. I heard the sound, check mark, continue. So when you're speaking, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can do it in a quiet room and speak directly into your computer, or you can put on the headphones and have the speaker mechanism into the headphones. If you have a lot of noise, that would be the best way to go. I think you really need to have it in a quiet room. So I'm going to say my name, and I got to put it loud. My name is Mrs. Segura. And notice how I tap the microphone to stop it, and then I tap the arrow to listen. My name is Mrs. Segura, and I heard my recording. I'm going to put that, it checks it off, and I'll put continue, begin test.
Listen to a student presenting a book report. Then, you will record your answers to 3 questions about the report.
This is my science fiction book report. The title of the book is Robots and Rainbows. The author is Cecile Ray. The setting is a community on the moon. The main characters are Ava Lang and Davy Wing. The summary of the book is Ava Lang is a clumsy robot that is helping build houses for humans on the moon. She is a hard worker, but she never makes any progress because she has lots of accidents. Her boss isn't very nice, and he makes Ava nervous. Ava becomes friends with another worker named Davy Wing. Davy gives Ava a tool that helps her learn to love her work. Who is the author of the book, and where does the story take place?
Okay, and I could always refer here because it says setting and author. The author of the book is Cecile Ray. The story takes place in a community on the moon. Notice how I restated the question. The author of the book is Cecile Ray. The story takes place in a community on the moon. And I replayed it back and I made sure I could hear everything I said. And if I can't, I can record it again, but it'll erase what I put previous.
Describe the relationship between Ava Lang and Davy Wing.
The relationship between Ava Lang and Davy Wing is they were co-workers, and Davy actually helped her. The relationship between Ava Lang and, okay, I'm going to go next.
Would you enjoy reading this book? Explain why or why not. Give 2 reasons in your explanation.
So I would enjoy reading this book because I love to read about sci-fi, and I like about reading about good relationships. So I would enjoy. So now I'm going to go next. I expect you to play it back
Look
completely.
carefully at the 2 pictures. Describe what is the same and what is different. Use as many details as you can. Include at least 3 things that are the same or different.
Okay, so I'm going to start with the same. 3 things that are the same. There is a tree in both pictures. There is a bench in both pictures, and there is a swing set in both pictures. 3 things are different is in one picture, there's a dancing dog with a hat and a flower. None over here. In another picture, another difference is the boy is kicking a box here and the boy is kicking a soccer ball. And another difference is there's a frog on the swing, and in the other picture, there's a boy on the swing. It says bad quality, but I'm going to play it back because sometimes it's good quality. Three things that are the same. There's a tree, and that was pretty good quality. As I said, I'm trying to cut this video a little shorter so that you guys don't have too long of a video. I'm going to end this test and go on to the next section. But I expect you guys during the test to play it back completely. I don't want to have this too long because you're going to have a long test ahead of yourselves today. Okay, we are going to go to the reading section. And we have to sign in the same way in each test. Kind of slow today, huh? Okay, I gotta scroll down to reading, ELPA 21 reading. Select, I guess you guys have another test you might be taking soon. I heard the sound. Continue. Okay, so this I have to read. I can read this out loud for you, and then I could go through and tell you my thought process in getting my answer. But really, when you read it, you can find the answers in the text, and then when you tap whatever you tap, you have to darken it completely. I don't think I will read this to you today. We'll go on to the next one. I want to show you what happens when you do not complete a test. This says, click on the sentence that explains why Natasha thinks Jared would like the science club. And so you can highlight the one. So I think you should join too. I know you love science experiments and you would get to do one every week. It's the only day of the week that you don't have basketball, and let me know what you think. So I think it's this one. And if I'm not sure, I could look in the text and find it. And let me see if I could find it in here for you. It says here, I know you love science experiments. So I'm pretty sure that that's the correct one. I'm going to go ahead and remember, when you pick one, you just tap it. And when it's darkened, you know it's good. Then you go to the next one. Same thing here. And I would really refer to the text and make sure you find the answer in the text. And this one, it says pick two correct answers, so you can pick whatever two you believe. Remember, it'll darken when you pick them, and then you end the test. Now, I'm showing you now how to skip, what happens when you skip answers. And please do these thoroughly. You will never have to take the test again. So if you do skip answers, you'll get this color orange triangle. That means you can go back to that specific one, read it, answer it, and then complete your test. You shouldn't submit your test if you haven't completed the whole test, okay? I'm going to go ahead and end this test, and I'm going to go to the next one, which is writing. Writing is really important that you restate the question, that you use capitals, and you use periods. So let's go ahead, sign in to the writing section of the test. And we have fourth grade. Okay, the writing section of the test, select. And you're going to use all the skills you've been practicing in your regular class. Heard the sound, continue, begin test, okay? It starts easy and it gets harder. You'll notice that.
Move the letter to complete the word.
You have to
Dog.
scroll up for this. So this is obviously for younger kids, but they want to make sure you know basic letters.
Move the words to make the sentence.
The boy plays with his toys.
So I had to scroll down. Remember, you put two fingers on and drag. And that's pretty much the easiest. It's super easy, huh? It gets harder.
Select the correct words to complete the sentences.
So for this one, you want to read it thoroughly, and when you get to the missing words, you can check the options, okay? It was early afternoon, and we had set sail. We were on our way. There wasn't a strong wind. So we rowed with our oars to move down the river. Later, as, after, or during, we traveled quite a distance. So probably after we had traveled quite a distance, we heard the loud noise. Did you notice how I put all the words in a sentence to make sure that it sounded right? The ship had hit a rock under, oops, I hit tutorial, and that's an option too. It'll explain things to you. Under the water. We brought the ship to the shore and pulled it up on land. We decided to camp near the river and repair the ship in the morning. So that kind of shows you your option. You have all these different words. You just pick the one that sounds the best. And when it's highlighted, you've picked it.
Listen to an announcement from the school principal. Follow the speaker's directions for a writing task.
I have great news, everyone. A famous journalist is going to come to our school. His name?
Now, write the second question
Sorry,
for the visitor
I hit
here.
something here. I must have hit something by accident.
I have great news, everyone. A famous journalist is going to come to our school. His name is Jose Medina. He is going to visit next week. I am collecting questions from students before Mr. Medina visits. Mr. Medina has traveled all over the world covering news stories. He currently writes for a very popular news magazine. Write 3 questions that you want to ask the visitor. Be sure to write in complete sentences.
Okay, so I wrote my question and it's related to what the information here. I don't want to know how old he is. That is not relevant. But what is relevant is maybe what magazine he works for. Notice how I put a capital here and I put a question mark. It's very important. And that my question is relevant to what you see in the text. What is the name of your famous magazine that you write for? And then I'll put next. I'm supposed to
Now,
write three
write the
questions.
third question for the visitor here.
I'm going to ask him about what news stories he covered. What was the craziest news story you covered? I think that's relevant. And I'm going to go to end test. So you're going to notice that I missed one. I was supposed to write 3 questions. I missed my first question. So I could tap on just that one, ask the question, and then be done. And I don't know how I missed it. I didn't mean to miss it, but I did. But it didn't show me till I got to the end of the test.
Listen to an announcement
So
from
I'm
the
going to
school.
stop this because I know I have to write one more question. So I'm going to say, what countries have you traveled to? You traveled to for your job. Notice I have the capital and the question mark, and this is relevant to his work, nothing personal, just his work. I know he traveled to many countries and covered news stories, and I know he writes for a popular magazine. So all my questions are specifically directed towards that. I'm going to go ahead and end the test, and I am done with the writing section, and that is it for the ELPA 21 practice. Good luck on your test. Do your best. Be sure to answer in full questions and restate the question when you answer, capitals, periods, question marks. Make sure basic things are covered, okay? And if you can check your spelling, also check that. Good luck.